All right, now class, we now dive into one of the most board exam heavy topics in serology, which is the syphilis testing. So if you're aiming to score high, remember syphilis questions always appear at least once. Okay, pero malay natin, mababago ng panahon. Okay, so now let's start our discussions with the syphilis. So syphilis, when we say syphilis, the causative agent for this infection is caused by the Treponema pallidum, subspecies pallidum. Okay, so these are gram-negative na mga spirochetes, and these are obligate intracellular parasites. So this is known to be a venereal disease. Okay, so there are two types of transmission for syphilis. It can be acquired or congenital. So when it is acquired, the transmission is through body fluids. Okay, it can be sexual, sharing of contaminated needles, through skin lesion, okay, or direct contact. Okay, and in congenital, there's a vertical transmission, mother to baby transmission, no, transplacental, since this is too tiny, atong organism na to, this can pass through the placenta, all right, or via childbirth. Okay, so if it's congenital, no, this can cause also neurosyphilis to the newborn. Okay, all right, to the newborn. Okay, now there are stages of the syphilis. If you could remember, there's a primary stage, secondary, the latent stage, and the tertiary stage. Okay, in primary stage, take note, no, it appears to have a lesion, and this lesion is a hard chancre. Okay, so this lesion is known to be a hard chancre or painless. When we say hard, but it's painless. Okay, tanong, ano yung organism na nakaka-cause ng soft chancre, which is a very painful lesion? Okay, it's your Haemophilus ducreyi. Okay, huwag kakalimutan. Alright? Now, this hard chancre is also known as the Hunterian chancre. Alright? So, again, it's painless. Alright? Indurated ulcer. And it appears at the site of entry. Alright, so next stage is the secondary stage, in which this stage, now there's an appearance of the condylomata lata. Condylomata lata. Okay, this is a rash on the palms or sores, remember? Okay, so systemic spread po itong ating condyloma lata. It involves the CNS, the eyes, bones, and even the liver. Okay, now the third stage, the latent stage of syphilis, is there is no sign, no, or there's no symptoms. It's asymptomatic na era. Okay, wherein the organism is non-reactive. Okay, so no symptoms involved. Okay, or low serologically tested. Wala, low ang kanyang serology. So, kaya importante, no, na sa early stage pa lang, okay, important yung for treatment. Okay, now tertiary stage, there is gammas, no, appearance of gammas, in which it is a granulomatous lesion. Okay, gammas are granulomatous lesions. Matous lesions, okay, which involves the what? Deep organs. Okay, this involves the deep organs, okay, such as the cardiovascular and neurological na involvement. Okay, CNN. Alright, so take note, no, para ma-remember natin. Remember the cha, ko, la, gu. Chacolagu, okay? Chacolagu meaning sa primary, okay, yung chancre, which is hard or Hunterian chancre. Ko is condylomata lata, okay, in the secondary stage. And then la for latent means ala. La, no symptoms, okay? Gu is Gammas on the fourth or the tertiary stage. Gammas, which is a granulomatous lesion. Okay, so these stages correlate with the test positivity, and this is important for interpreting the serological results. Okay, so in latent stage, there's no reactivity, no symptoms. Okay, so that's why kailangan malaman natin yung mga different stages. Okay, so para alam natin kung ano yung ita-target. Okay, for treatment also. Alright, so here's a quick board question. Alright, kindly listen very carefully. Which stage of syphilis includes gammas? Ayan na, nasa harapan na. It's your, yes, tertiary stage, correct. Okay, so your granulomatous destructive lesions appear late on the stages of the syphilis. But it's too late, no? Kasi may involvement ng heart and even the nervous or neurological involvement. Okay, now there are different types of tests for your syphilis. So screening tests, no, measures the reagin. Okay, so let's start with the non-specific or non-treponemal serological test. This is for screening. Okay, screening for your syphilis. Alright, so the purpose again is for screening of your syphilis to detect the reagin. Okay, so what is a reagin? This is a substance that is present in the serum of patients with certain diseases, including the syphilis. So your reagin is a lipid. Okay, this is a lipid that is being released during the cell damage. Okay, during the cell damage. Alright, okay, alright. So one of the examples of your screening test for syphilis is the VDRL or the Venereal Disease Research Laboratory, and your RPR or the Rapid Plasma Reagin. Okay, so when this becomes positive after 1 to 4 weeks now of symptoms, alright? So once nag-appear na yung initial symptoms, no, then VDRL and RPR is positive. Okay. So this is reported as a titer, alright? So each titer, the higher titer, I mean, is more, indicates more active disease, alright? The higher the titer, it indicates more active disease. Alright, so this is used for monitoring treatment response also. Okay, so this is used for monitoring for treatment responses. Alright, so take note, no, non-treponemal is non-specific. Take note, non-treponemal meaning hindi siya specific for Treponema pallidum na infection. Okay, they detect damaged antibodies, not the bacteria Treponema pallidum. Okay, so that's why it's non-specific. Alright, so other treponemal tests, no, are your toluidine red unheated serum test, or known as the TRUST, unheated serum reagin, or the USR, and the reagin screen test, or the RST. Okay, question. What substance is detected by the VDRL or RPR? Again, what substance is being detected by the VDRL or RPR? Yes, correct. It's your reagin or the anti-cardiolipin antibodies. Okay, so the non-treponemal antigens, okay, released, or kaya it damages the the non-treponemal antibodies, no, attaches to the lipid and not to the spirochetes. Okay, hindi siya doon sa spirochetes, kaya non-specific siya. Non-treponemal serological test. Okay, now let's proceed to the confirmatory test. Now, once the screening test for non-specific or non-treponemal serological test is being positive, then it should be tested for confirmation. This is a confirmatory test after the positive screening test of VDRL or RPR. Okay, so your specific treponemal antibody test uses actual Treponema pallidum. Okay, this uses an actual bacteria, the Treponema pallidum, in which the antigen of the Treponema pallidum is used to detect the specific antibodies that is produced by the patients who are suspected with the syphilis. Okay, so take note, no? There are other serological tests for the syphilis that are for confirmatory. So we have here the FTA. Wala dito sa ating slide, but kindly take note. FTA or the fluorescent treponemal antibody absorption. Okay, FTA-ABS. Fluorescent treponemal antibody absorption. Okay, we also have the TPHA or the Treponema pallidum hemagglutination assay. Treponema pallidum hemagglutination assay. We also have EIA, okay, for your syphilis. EIA, the enzyme immunoassay. All right. We also have Western blot. Okay. All right. And we also have anti-treponemal antibody. The anti-treponemal antibodies group detected by the Reiter protein complement fixation test. Okay, so this Reiter protein complement fixation test appears later than the specific antibodies. Okay, so there are not all patients produce this kind of antibody, therefore it is limited of use. Okay. So mnemonic, no, para hindi malimutan yung ating specific treponemal antibody test, no? So when you say treponemal, okay, so it means these are truly treponema. Why? Because it detects the antibody against the Treponema pallidum. Okay, antibody that is present from the patient. Okay, so that's why it's highly specific, and this is used to rule out the disease. Okay, ayan. All right. Now, there are serological tests for your syphilis in which it uses the antigens. Okay, the Wassermann antigen, wherein the cardiolipin or the Wassermann antigen. Okay, this is a hapten antigen and must be bound to a suitable carrier to be antigenic. And this is a phospholipid type of antigen. Now, the microbial cell treponeum serves as the foreign carrier. Okay, so now if present itong treponeums natin, then it will carry this hapten, the cardiolipin na Wassermann antigen, that is bound to phospholipid or the cardiolipin. Okay, this serves as the antigenic determinant. Okay, all right. So ito na yung antigenic determinant. Okay. Now, treponemal antigens naman, no, which are the Reiter, okay, Reiter proteins, which is common siya to all or to many treponemes. Okay, ang ating treponemal antigens. This is common to our treponemes. So these are proteins that are found in most treponemes, both in saprophytic natin na treponeme or mga pathogenic. Okay? So these specific treponemal antigens are specific for each treponeme species. Alright. Now, the antibodies used are the reagin, which is an anti-cardiolipin antigen. Yung anti-cardiolipin natin yung Wassermann antigen, diba? Alright, now treponemal antibodies, these are directed against the pathogenic Treponema pallidum, okay? Pathogenic Treponema pallidum and closely related strains of your Treponema pallidum. So group antibodies, they are directed group antigens against the group antigens. Then specific treponemal antibodies, these are specific for each treponemal antigens. Okay. So, para di malimutan, okay? WASA or the Wassermann antigens. Okay, the WASA. Alright. So, Wassermann. So, this is an anti-lipid WASA. anti-lipid. Okay? When we say trepo, of course, these are true pathogen. Okay, these are true pathogen. All right, quick board question, everyone. Which syphilis test remains reactive for life in many patients? Again, which syphilis test remains reactive for life in many patients? Yes, it's your treponemal test. Such example of your treponemal test, ulitin natin dito, your FTA, ABS, or the fluorescent treponemal antibody absorption. It can be treponema pallidum hemagglutination test, okay, the EIA for syphilis, the Western blot, the anti-treponema antibody, and the anti-treponema 8 antibodies group by Reiter protein complement fixation test. Okay? All right. Another question, a quick board question. Cardiolipin is classified as what type of antigen? Again, cardiolipin is classified as what type of antigen? Correct. It's a hapten. And the treponema, okay, the treponema serves as the carrier of this cardiolipin, of the hapten cardiolipin. Okay, so it must bind again to carrier no na treponema. Treponym natin na organism. Okay. So now, testing of the cerebrospinal fluid or the CSF for your syphilis is important part of patient monitoring as well as diagnostic tests. So why CSF? Why do we need to test the CSF? Because CSF testing is crucial for diagnosing the neurosyphilis and for monitoring treatment. So CSF findings no in neurosyphilis. Okay? So pagdating sa CSF, ano do yung i-check natin? If there is abnormally high levels of your WBCs, it's markedly increased. Okay? And then elevated yung protein levels ng CSF. Okay? And positive siya sa VDRL. Okay? Alright. Okay. So, the CSF VDRL is the most specific test for your neurosyphilis. Again, CSF VDRL is the most specific test for your neurosyphilis. Okay. So, the fluorescent treponemal antibody absorption, IgG and IgM, detects continuous, okay, it detects, the FTA, the fluorescent treponemal antibody absorption, IgG and IgM, detection continues to be a confirmatory test in the diagnosis of syphilis. Okay, it may remain in CSF positive even after treatment. So that's why it is used as confirmatory, but not for monitoring. Alright? So, okay. That's it, no? So, currently, most hospitals use ELISA, Western blot, and PCR for your syphilis detection. Alright. Now, important to note about the syphilis CSF VDRL is, again, high specific but less sensitive. So, i-take note nito. This is highly specific but less sensitive. Okay, the FTA-ABS is highly sensitive but less specific. Okay, so take note of that. All right, now we're done with the syphilis. Now let's proceed to the hepatitis test. Okay, so for hepatitis, let's start with A. No, so for hepatitis A, these are fecal-oral na transmission. Okay, so we have this total anti-HAV, which indicates past infection and immunity. Pag nandyan yung anti-HAV, IgG and IgM, it means tapos na. May past infection or kaya may immunity ka. Okay? Kasi may antibodies na na-develop. Alright? Then, IgM, no, anti-have, if present yung IgM, anti-have, then it indicates acute infection. If the RNA of the hepatitis A virus is detected, no, via the PCR, okay, so it means there is a current infection. Kasi yung gene na mismo, no, ng ating hepatitis A virus is being detected. So this test is used, no, to detect the presence of hepatitis A virus in the food and water. Take note. Okay. All right. Okay. Now let's proceed to the hepatitis B. Okay. Your hepatitis B has different antigens. Now we have the surface antigen, envelope antigen, the core, in which ang core hindi natin siya madedetect sa serum. That's why antibodies lang yung matitest natin serologically. Okay? Alright, so we also have antibodies against these antigens. No, the core, antibody against the envelope, and antibody against the surface. Okay? So in acute or chronic infection or infectivity, your HBsAg is first marker, no, to appear. Okay? Siya yung first marker to appear, no, sa infection. And this is used to screen donor blood. Okay? And these are positive. Okay, once these are positive, it should be confirmed by repeating the test and another assay such as the HBsAg neutralization or the HBV DNA. Okay, so kailangan siyang ma-detect yung DNA mismo for confirmatory. Okay, now the envelope antigen, it indicates the acute or chronic infection. Okay, so this indicates high degree of infectivity kasi yung envelope mismo ng virus ang na-detect. Okay? Now, the total anti-HBC antibody, so it indicates current or past infection or a carrier of the hepatitis B virus. So, predominantly in the total antibodies for your HBC or the core, hepatitis B core na antigen, alright? Predominantly, IgG po ang mataas nito, which persists for life. Okay? Now, with the IgM anti-HBC, this means there's a current or recent infection. And by the way, this is the first antibody to appear during the infection. Okay, uulitin ko. Ang unang antigen, the first serological marker to appear during the infection is the HBsAg. And the first antibody to appear in the infection of hepatitis B is your IgM anti-HBC or anti-HBC IgM. Now, this is useful, take note, for detecting the HBV infection when HB-Sag is no longer detectable. Or kasi bakit siya hindi na-detect? Because of this window period. Okay? And your IgM na anti-HBC IgM is used to screen blood donors. Okay? So take note ha, HB-Sag and IgM anti-HBC, these are used in blood donor, no, in screening your blood donors. Okay, and both of them are the ones who are increased, no, first to appear in an infection. Okay, now anti-HBe, the antibody that is against the envelope, okay, of the hepatitis B. Okay, this means there's a recovery already. All right. So there's reduced infectivity already. Okay. Next, the anti-HBs. Once anti-HBs is increased, it means there's a recovery already and immunity, no? So possible na vaccine na siya. Okay? So that's why it developed immunity. So the antibody that develops following the immunization. Okay? And now the HBV DNA, this indicates current infection. of the hepatitis B. So these are detectable no, in 21 days before the HB-Sag, okay, or the antigen for the surface no antigen for your hepatitis B. Now these are used, no, the HBV DNA are used to monitor viral load and therapy. Okay. Now let's proceed to the hepatitis C. Now your hepatitis C serological markers are the anti-HCV, okay, and the HCV RNA. Now if anti-HCV is increased or there's presence of the anti-HCV, it indicates acute or even chronic or even previous infection. So, napaka-direct ng ating hepatitis C. Wala siyang palugi, wala siyang pagulo-gulo, okay? Hindi siya patumpik-tumpik, okay? So, anti-HCV means acute, chronic, or kaya previous na infection. Okay? Positive should be confirmed via the recombinant immunoblot assay or the RIBA, recombinant immunoblot assay, or via a molecular method. Okay, now HCV RNA, once this is increased, it means there's a current infection. Okay, because the RNA of the HCV is being detected. So this is used for viral load testing. Okay, blood organ donor screening also. HCV, okay, since this is also common sa mga, or this can be transmitted via blood. Okay, HCV genotyping to determine optimal treatment. Alright. Now, the hepatitis D is also known as the delta hepatitis. Okay, so we have the IgM anti-HDV and IgG anti-HDV and also the HDV RNA. So when we say the presence of the IgM anti-HDV is increased or there's a presence of the IgM anti-HDV, it indicates acute or chronic infection. Okay, so it indicates acute or chronic infection. So this is a defective virus pala ang ating HDV, no, that can only occur in the presence of the hepatitis B virus. Okay, now anti-HDV na IgG, it means recovery na or there's a chronic infection. Now, which in the HDV RNA, it indicates a current infection. So these are the HDV RNA are the marker of active viral replication, which is used to monitor therapy. Okay, these tests are currently not approved by the FDA for use in the United States of America. Okay. All right, so here is a serological profile of your hepatitis. Right, so kailangan natin ito i-memorize because some of the questions about the hepatitis is case study. Okay, so analysis talaga siya. Alright, so again, if there is presence of the IgM anti-HAV, alright, or positive siya sa IgM anti-HAV, therefore there is acute hepatitis A infection. However, if total anti-HAV, the total anti-HAV, it can be either IgG or IgM antibodies for hepatitis A virus, it means the patient has already recovered. Okay, there's a recovery from the hepatitis A infection. Alright, now, if, take note of this ha, if acute hepatitis B ang case ng patient, therefore, ang suspected ay ang makita natin sa serological markers should be my HBsAg, okay, total anti-HBC, okay, and IgM anti-HBC, anti-core ng hepatitis B, and negative siya for the anti-HBs. Okay, therefore, no, in summary, if there is acute hepatitis B, HB surface antigen is positive. The total antibodies for the core of hepatitis B is positive. And IgM anti-HBC for core of the hepatitis B is positive. And to confirm that, if negative, si anti-HBs. Okay. Now, if the patient has already recovered from the hepatitis B infection, the surface antigen for hepatitis B is or should be or should disappear. Okay? So, dapat negative siya dyan. So, ang maiiwan na lang, no? So, meaning nanalo yung immunity natin. So, ang maiiwan na lang is yung antibodies against the core ng ating hepatitis B. Okay? Now, chronic hepatitis B or carrier sila. Now, take note, the HBs surface antigen is positive and the total anti-HB core antibody is positive, but IgM na antibody for anti-core ng hepatitis B is negative, and as well as the anti-HBs. Alright? And when we say hepatitis B immunization, okay, negative siya sa ating surface antigen, negative din for our antibody against the core for hepatitis B, but ang naiiwan na lang, okay, is the anti-HBs, antibody for or against the surface hepatitis B. Okay? Alright, I hope maalala nyo to, ma-remember to, i-memorize natin to. Okay. Alright, now let's proceed to HIV. Okay, now HIV, alright, here are the markers for your human immunodeficiency virus, the HIV. So, viral RNA of your HIV, okay, it is detectable within the days of infection. Now, the P24 antigen, okay, this coats our nucleic acid, and it is detectable in 2 to 3 weeks, which becomes undetectable as antibodies develop. Alright? When then detectable again in late stages as immune system fails and the virus replicates. Alright? So, once the virus replicates, P24 antigen is being detected. Alright. Now, the IgM antibody of your HIV usually is detectable at 2 to 8 weeks, no? And this is transient. Now, this peaks in 1 to 2 weeks and undetectable after 1 to 2 weeks later. However, your IgG antibody are detectable shortly after the IgM. So, it gradually, not sure, no, in titer over several months, and this is long-lasting. Okay. So, to screen your HIV, we have this enzyme immunoassay or the enzyme-linked immunosorbent assays. Okay, so we have this first generation that detects the IgG antibody to the HIV-1 virus. Okay, the second generation detects the IgG antibody to our HIV-1 and HIV-2 virus. The third generation detects the IgM and IgG antibody that is against the HIV-1 virus and the HIV-2 virus. Now, the fourth generation EIA or the ELISA, fourth generation, okay, it detects the IgG and IgM antibodies to our HIV-1 and 2. And also, take note, ang fourth generation, madidetect din si P24 antigen. Okay. So, what are these tests or methods? No, pwede siya EIA or the chemical immunoassay. The enzyme immunoassay or chemical immunoassay. P24 antigen, if without the HIV antibody, if present yung ating P24 antigen, tapos negative ang ating HIV antibodies, this means acute infection. Okay? Now, P24 antigen plus the HIV antibody, it means established yung infection sa patient. And currently not approved ito for screening blood donors, ang ating P24 and IgG, IgM. Okay? Kasi there might be a window period. Okay? Alright. Now, there are rapid tests available, no, for screening your HIV. So, The detected serological markers for these are the IgG and IgM antibodies that is against to the HIV. Okay, and this appears 4 to 12 weeks, no? So immunochromatographic assays, no, yun yung common natin sa mga kits. Okay, yung mga rapid screening test kits natin we're in. If mag-positive sa control and mag-positive sa test or sa sample line, then it indicates or suggests a positive for HIV. Thus, it needs to be referred for confirmatory testing. Okay, it can be performed on a whole blood, take note, serum, or via the oral fluid. Pero pinaka-common is the whole blood, placed in anong tube? EDTA. EDTA. Okay. Alright. Now, nucleic acid amplification testing, or DNAAT, is another screening test for your HIV, wherein it detects the HIV RNA. Take note, it detects the HIV RNA, the nucleic acid. So, para ma-remember, di ba, nucleic acid, automatic press the buzzer, it's the gene of the virus. In which our virus HIV is an RNA. Same with your hepatitis. Okay? So, however, your NAAT test is not cost-effective for screening in most settings kasi this is expensive. And this is used for screening blood donors and infants because antibodies tests aren't reliable in children no lesser than 18 months of age. Okay, take note. Again, NAAT is used to screen the infants since the antibodies for HIV in children lesser than 18 months of age is not reliable. Okay. Antibodies from the infected mother can be present even if the child isn't infected. Okay. Again, the antibodies from the infected mother can be present even if the child is not infected. Okay. So all specimens with positive screening test must be tested again by same or different screening test. Okay. So dapat, for example, nag-positive siya, it should be rerun. Okay. If repeatedly positive, a confirmatory or supplemental test must be done, in which time between exposure and post-test result, no, ang dapat natin i-supplement for that. Okay. Alright. Now, here are the false positives and false negatives with our HIV antibody ELISA testing. So, kindly take note of this, no? Isa din ito sa mga tinatanong, okay? False positives and false negatives of your HIV antibody ELISA testing. So, here are the false positives. Heat inactivation of serum, repeated freezing and thawing of serum. Okay? If you thaw it and then you freeze, no? Pwede siyang mag-cause ng false positive. Okay? Autoantibodies, no? Multiple pregnancies, liver diseases, administration of immunoglobulins, administration of certain vaccines, and other malignancies. For false negative, which is infrequent, okay, pinaka-common sa low-risk population sa ating false positives. Okay, so false negatives, these are blood drawn before seroconversion or during the window period. Okay, hypogammaglobulinemia, immunosuppressive therapy, the strain of HIV not detected by assay, and technical errors can cause false negative. So, ang ginawa ko before, no, I memorize these false negatives. Kasi, these are more common, no, compared with your false negatives. So, para mas madali, di ba, ito na lang ang mga false positive ang i-remember. Okay. Next, what are the confirmatory tests or supplemental tests for your HIV? So, ang pinaka-common is the Western blot, okay, which it detects the antibodies to the HIV. So, this is traditionally a confirmatory test, but take note, it is not as sensitive as to the 4th generation, yes, enzyme immunoassay or the nucleic acid amplification testing. Okay? Again, it is traditionally a confirmatory test. But when we say the most sensitive test between the enzyme immunoassay and the nucleic acid amplification testing for HIV versus the Western blot. It's the EIA, and the NAAT is the most sensitive among them all. Okay, so the indirect immunofluorescent assay is another confirmatory HIV testing, right? In which it detects also the antibodies specifically for HIV. Now, this IFA is sensitive and at the same time specific, comparable to Western blot. But these are not frequently used because it is expensive and sometimes subjective. Alright? So, nucleic acid amplification testing, it detects the RNA of the HIV. Now, this is a qualitative test that is used for confirmation. Okay. Alright. So what are the stages not to test your and monitor your HIV? So we have to do a CD4 T cell counting for the HIV. Why? Because the HIV infects these CD4 T helper cells. Alright? And once there's a decline to the CD4 cells, therefore the disease is progressing. Alright? So take note, less than 200 per UL, okay, defines AIDS according to the CDC. If the volume or the value of your CD4 T helper cells is less than 200 per microliter, then it defines AIDS already. Okay. Also, it is used to monitor therapy. Alright, our CD4 T cell count for AIDS, and it is performed every 3 to 6 months. Alright, now to detect your CD4 T cell count, the gold standard for CD4 count is the flow cytometry. Okay, now HIV-1 viral load assays is one of the tests to monitor or to check the stage of your HIV. Okay, this is a quantitative nucleic acid amplification test to determine plasma HIV RNA. This is used to predict disease progression, determine when to start antiretroviral therapy, and monitor the response to the therapy. Okay, so this test is done 2 to 8 weeks after the start of therapy, and then every 3 to 4 months. Same assay should be used in order to assess changes. Okay. Now there are screening tests for systemic lupus erythematosus. Now let's proceed to the screening test of your autoimmune diseases. Though we have already discussed this in our previous topics. Now, so let's review this. For fluorescent anti-nuclear antibody, or the FANA. Now this is highly sensitive, in which 95% to 100% of the SLE cases are positive. Okay, but its specificity is low. Antibodies present in other autoimmune diseases from healthy individuals and even in the elderly is being detected for FANA. Okay, that's why it's low in specificity. So the dilutions tested to eliminate low titer reaction in normal population. So the cutoff dilution to report positive usually is more than 1:80. The endpoint titer may be reported in your FANA, and generally higher siya when it comes to systemic lupus erythematosus. So take note, indirect immunofluorescence, no, ginagamit din for detection of your SLE. Then it uses the substrate. Remember, the HEP2. Okay, and it detects the antibodies that are more than 100 no autoantigens. Okay, staining patterns reported but not considered as significant as in past. Okay, these are labor intensive and this is subjective and still considered gold standard by rheumatologists, the FANA. even if mababa ang kanyang specificity. Okay, now the EIA or the enzyme immunoassay anti-nuclear antibody or the EIA-ANA. Alright? This may not be as sensitive as your IIF and the same low pa din ang kanyang specificity. However, this method is easier and less expensive and this can be automated. Interpretation is not subjective and not as many as antigens as the indirect immunofluorescence. Okay, so what are the tests that are specific for anti-nuclear antibodies? So we have the anti-dsDNA, no? Anti-Smith, anti-histone, okay, anti-DNP, anti-Sjogren syndrome, RO antigen, anti-Sjogren syndrome, LA antigen, anti-NRP. We also have the extractable nuclear antigen or the ENA antibodies. All of them has a low sensitivity for SLE. However, they have this high specificity to SLE, except for your anti-histone, anti-DNP, anti-Sjogren, RO and LA antigens, and anti-NRP. Okay, they have low, okay, specificity. All right. Now, your anti-dsDNA is the most specific antibody for your SLE. Take note of this. Kindly highlight this one. The titers correlate with disease activity. Okay. So, peripheral or homogeneous fluorescent pattern. Take note, peripheral or homogeneous fluorescent pattern with indirect immunofluorescence is being noted. No, yung pattern niya with the IIF is peripheral and homogeneous pattern. For anti-Smith, okay, there's a coarsely speckled pattern. Kapag Smith, speckled. Smith is speckled. Si Mr. Smith may mga freckles or mga speckled patterns sa face. Para hindi malimutan, okay? So other methods for your anti-Smith is the EIA, immunoblotting and immunodiffusion, just like your anti-dsDNA. For your anti-histone, anti-DNP, anti-Sjogren syndrome, RO and LA antigens, and anti-NRP, since they have this low sensitivity and low specificity, they are not generally useful for the diagnosis of your SLE. Okay, so these are used to diagnose other connective tissue diseases, not for SLE. So the methods used for your test for this is the IIF, EIA, immunoblotting, and immunodiffusion. Alright, now for the anti-Smith, I mean the extractable nuclear antigen or the ENA antibiotics, no? Sorry, I have to take water. Okay. Extractable nuclear antigen antibiotics. No, these are used for the SLE. Okay, so immunodiffusion, in which the Auchterlonie double diffusion test panel that typically tests for the antibodies of your Smith, no, and Sjogren syndrome, RO antigen, and Sjogren LA antigen, no, and even the RNP. So there's a precipitin lines of identity or non-identity. Diba? Remember the Auchterlonie double diffusion. Okay, so there are new methods. The multiplex bead assay for your ENA, immunoassay using specific antigen-coated beads and flow cytometry to detect multiple currents 6 to 13 ANA simultaneously. Okay. And another, okay, tapos na pala tayo. Double ko pala ito. Alright, and so that ends our discussion about the serological testing. So, I hope you have learned and review natin no, ang ating immunology and serology. So, good luck on your exams and good luck on your studies. God bless everyone!